Hi everyone, this is our movie on our science notebook, give you an idea hopefully of the organizational needs of the class as well as how to relate what you see in your students' work with what you may see on our website. And this is a packet that the students will be turning in at the end of every unit that we do. I mentioned in a previous movie that we don't collect work on a daily basis. We have the students keep all of their work during a given unit, hopefully so they can use them as a learning resource on practice tests. And they put it all together, and at the end of a unit, they're going to pass us in their test along with all of their work they've done in the unit, and it needs to be well organized. And the way right when we finish a unit, the students will get this little slip of paper, and this little slip of paper just basically has all of the titles of all of the work that we did during that unit. And this would be the list you would see on the daily work portion of our website, and it of course would build as we work through a unit. And every one of these has a title, and the students need to make sure that they're putting those titles on the paper. So the very first thing we did was titled Warm Up 1. You can see that title right there. And all the way through, students need to get those titles on. When students don't get their titles put on their papers like this, and then all of a sudden they have to put their work together at the end of the unit, it becomes very hard to do. And again, we ask that they put them together and be organized, and then the students actually will check off their own work before we grade them using this template right here. So again, wanted to give a little idea of the need for really good organization, and making sure they're getting those titles on their paper are very, very important. Now, the other piece of their science notebook is going to be their vocabulary piece. And their vocabulary piece is not going to get turned in until the very end of the year, and we really highly recommend, because of that, that the students get themselves a small 25 pages, probably is as much as they need, but a small spiral binded notebook, because if all they do is put loose leaf 3-hole papers in their science binder, they get torn out and they get lost. And since this doesn't get turned in until the end of the year, this kind of thing is very, very helpful. And to give you an idea of how that will work is that every time we introduce a vocab word, the students will see this in class. And when they see this in class, they will write the word, they will write out our meaning that we give them, then they will be responsible for writing a sentence that has a context clue in it about the meaning of the word. So we don't want them to just write something like, today we studied volume. We would want them to have some sort of longer sentence that gives an idea of what volume is. And then we ask that they draw a picture that represents the word. Occasionally, with the pictures, we have a shared class picture. Sometimes we just let the students make their own picture that they think represents the word. If we do a shared class picture, those are the kind of pictures that can show up on our vocabulary tests, which are all open note. By the end of the year, we generally have about 80 to 90 of these words that are in their notebook, so they get pretty big. And the final thing is, students have to write these out by hand. Otherwise, they just go to the website where we keep an updated list and they just print them off. And that's a very passive way to do it, and they don't learn the words well, so we don't allow those to be used in class. The other thing that sometimes students do, they wouldn't do it on this example because it's short, but sometimes students will paraphrase our definitions, and what happens when they do that is they paraphrase themselves out of the clues for the tests that they'll take. And again, the tests for vocab are all open notes, so we hope that those are pretty easy scores. So those are the two things that we have in our science notebooks. One will be the binder, one will be the spiral binder for their vocab work, and the other, which will stay in all year, and the other will be just their daily work, which they will hand in as a packet at the end of every unit. Thanks for watching.